This is the Kpop cast, and we're catching up on the hot issues of the past few weeks around K-pop survival shows aimed at the international audience, including World, Street Woman, Fighter, and Boys Planet 2, and some buzz about the new show Kpopped.
We also share K-pop replays from WayV and Loco featuring Kpopped.
Yes, and before we get into those topics, don't forget to join the Kpop cast listener fam on Slack. And to help chip in for the show's costs, links to all of that in the episode description. And now for the hit replay. I'm your host, Stephanie.
And I'm your PD-nim, Michaela, guys. And hit replays are our K-pop song recommendations for the week. So, Stephanie, kick us off. What is your hit replay?
My hit replay is a feel-good, ethereal song by Loco called Nowhere, featuring Indonesian artist Phoebe Putri. So this song, Nowhere, is off of Loco's most recent full-length album release called Scraps. And this is, I believe, his first album released as an independent artist after his departure from AOMG. Loco has been in the game like as a really important pillar in the Korean hip-hop and R&B scene. Since he won the very first season of Show Me the Money back in 2012. I was like, 2012?
He was the first.
He was the first winner. Yeah, exactly. And like, if you see him perform live, if you hear his work, you can understand why. His vocal tone is so clear and powerful. He's able to sound effortless while delivering just a clarity of delivery that is refreshing to listen to as a fan. And he's collaborated with all of your K-hip-hop faves, you know, the AOMG family, J Park, all of them. Loco's a big deal. So for him to release an independent album and to choose to use this opportunity to collaborate across global borders is a really fun, interesting choice. And so I am enjoying the whole Scraps album. I'm enjoying this song in particular, especially because it reminds me of a song that he released a few years back called Just Like This. And it has that like melancholy, yearning, minor key, spacey, dreamy vibe to it that really gets me, really tugs at my heartstrings. And then I hear this gorgeous voice of Phoebe come onto the track, and I'm like, who's this?
Just like a beautiful songbird, like
a songbird, a fairy,
like the voice you want to hear when you like enter heaven. Like she is just a gorgeous, beautiful tone.
Oh, yeah. I look her up and I said, well, she doesn't seem like a Korean artist, or at least an artist that I've ever heard of. And I look her up and she's Indonesian, a folk alternative artist who's been active since 2019 and is, you know, not only an up and coming pop songstress, but she also writes and sings about and speaks about like the struggles of her people and is an icon culturally. So I was just pleasantly surprised to hear like yet another Korean artist is reaching over, like not just to countries that we're used to, Japan, China, for collaboration, but also to Southeast Asia. And I would love to see more of that.
Like it's very apt that there's a song called Papago on this album because he's really like you'll hear Japanese, you'll hear Korean, you'll hear English, you'll hear Portuguese. Like
Yep.
there's so much collaboration on this album, and it's great.
Yeah, he must have had a lot of fun traveling around to meet all these artists. Yeah, so that's what's taken me through the week, and it's a great song to drive to. It's a great song to gaze wistfully out the window to. Song to cry to into your pillow.
Ooh, possible contender for
maybe end of year award.
Yeah.
So I know you are highlighting something with a little different mood for your hit replay.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna 180. We're bringing the energy up. We're going out. We're partying. We're hype. Because shout out to Virginia, big shout out to Virginia because I almost missed this comeback. I almost missed this whole album. But she posted about it in our Slack. I was like, guys, this is amazing. You have to check it out. And I was like, oh yeah, right, WayV.
Report to the dance floor.
Yes. And their comeback big bands is my hit replay of the week.
Yeah, we hit you like big bands. Strongly in charge, how we got big plans. Got my name in your mouth, you a big fan. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, 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 up. Yeah, we got big bands. Gingerly, type of talk like a big man. Imity, 한국어, all respect. Everyone fall for me, 'cause we hit you like.
And from that clip, you can hear why. It's just so hype. It's amazing. It's this beautiful, again, big band sound. You hear these horns, but then there's also these beautiful jazzy elements throughout it. And it's just, it was literally a song. I heard it first 2 seconds. I started dancing. I had to get up. I was like, there was no way I could sit still while listening to this song. It was an amazing, amazing discovery. Thank you so much, Virginia, because I almost missed it.
Yeah, you cannot escape.
Yeah,
the pull of
for
this
people
sound.
who don't know, WayV is the Chinese unit of NCT, the SM's mega limitless member boy group.
Limitless.
But I feel like it's an apt to bring them up in our kind of discussion today because they are an example of, SM creating a group with initially a very Chinese-focused market. But over the years, they have really expanded into international markets. And also last year, they had a really big release with Give Me That and Frequency in Korea and really like gained a big Korean audience as well. So they've really kind of been a great example of what when a label tries to go after a market and do it successful, I think.
SM has been trying this for years, for decades.
Do it successfully with non-Korean or at least international idols group specifically.
Exactly. Yeah, compare SM's approach to NCT and WayV versus like the XOM, XOK rollout and how like no one from XOM is still around and all of the controversy that happened there. So the labels still want to pursue the Chinese market and international markets and are trying new ways to figure that out, and seems to be having a little bit more success with WayV.
And then the comparison that I specifically want to draw in relation to our discussion today is JYP's attempt at entering the Chinese market with their baby boy group Boy Story, who yeah. that's fair. That's
you mean
very
Boy
fair.
Next Door? No.
Yeah, no. So
Boys Planet? No.
Yeah, because they
Fantasy Boys? No.
Yeah, because now
The Boys? No. Okay. Sorry, I can go on, but I'll stop there. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. But no. Boy Story is currently has 3 members or participating on the new survival show on Mnet called Boys to Planet. Because JYP's attempt wasn't as successful.
Wow. So okay, so he tried to debut them. It didn't work, and he's like, "All right, y'all, go fend for your lives on this competition show. Try to make some money, make some fans.
Basically, yeah. And this is now 7 years into their career, and they're
7
only
years.
like or hold on, let me double check. Sorry, because they debuted.
Where have I been?
Around the same time as Stray Kids. Oh wait, no, sorry, 2018.
7 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, no, 7 years in their career, and they're barely like 2021. Like they debuted when they were like little babies.
Oh, okay. They were like tiny.
They were kind of like, I think, whereas NCT is kind of like
High schoolers.
Well, though in concept is like kind of like the exiled tribe in Japan. Like I think Boy Story was JYP's attempt at doing like a TF Boys, which was also a very, very young, popular Chinese group in mainland China. But like you said, they didn't, unlike WayV, how were really more incorporated into the broader SM. There has always been like a major separation of Boy Story and, you know, the other JYP artists, which really hurt them in the long run.
And so just to formally mark that we're transitioning
Sorry,
into the deep dive discussion. Today we are, there's so much to say. Today we are, giving our impressions and our recaps of, and our observations of the state of certain internationally focused survival shows in the world of K-pop. So including World of Street Woman Fighter, Boys to Planet, upcoming show Kpopped. This is definitely a trend that we're noticing of Korean TV show producers wanting to include and incorporate more and more non-Korean international contestants into like what they're producing. And our assumption is that they're doing this as an attempt to capture more international viewership, revenue, votes, and buzz, and all of that to expand K-pop's footprint even further into the globe. And we're seeing, and we're noticing there's some trade-offs to swinging that far in the distance.
Big trade-offs. Like I would say so far, at least with this year, the negatives have overcome the positives. Though there have been some positives, I would say. I think
you can start with the positives.
Yeah, I feel like World of Street Woman Fighter is one of the shows where I think so far we have seen a lot of the positives. One, just general overview, general impression. It was so interesting to see a Korean show where there was more than one black woman or more than one dark skin.
That was the first thought that came into my mind.
Participating.
Yo.
And one in which Korean contestants, or at least the Korean team, didn't win.
Nope. They were eliminated. They were not even in the finale.
Yeah, because like going back to our DJ John was Head in the Clouds recap, my prediction was that Bums Up, the Korean team, was going to be at least a runner-up, because I didn't believe, especially with the track record that Emmett has with these shows, that they would let a non-Korean team win.
Oh no, I didn't think they would either. Well, yeah, I think it's definitely a positive that on these shows we're seeing more representation racially, culturally. So many countries represented: the US, Japan, Australia,
New
Zealand, exactly. And multiple crews from Japan.
Yeah, Japan twice,
Yeah.
I don't think I ever really found a reason why there are two Japanese teams. I feel like, especially in initially the like rollout of the show, or at least the teasers, they were saying that there was going to be more countries from Europe and Africa involved, that maybe there was hints at that being a possibility, but maybe it was just, there was no, by the time the show was actually getting ready for production, they kind of had to just do 2 Japanese teams, and maybe there was an African team or a team from an African country, or maybe there was a team from a European country. We don't really know. But Japan was very, very well represented in this season.
They were. Yeah. And they were prepared. They're like, we're ready. Call us. Mm-hmm. We're ready to battle. We're ready to win. Yeah. I enjoyed watching the performances. I enjoyed seeing that there was actually diversity in styles this time. To see the U.S. team Motive, talking about, we want to, like, the U.S. is the birthplace of hip hop and of breakdance, and we are not going to conform to someone else's expectations of what they think hip hop or street dance is. We're going to go with the original. And you can see that in their movements. They're not as, sharp and precise with what they do, but you can tell, like, they have been dancing in the street and in the breakdancing scene. And I just appreciated having that perspective represented. Like, hey, this is a street dance competition. And yeah, it comes from somewhere. Specifically, it comes from the African American Black experience. And we're going to, give you a taste of that every time we're on screen. The real thing.
Mm-hmm. Which, unfortunately for this competition, might have been the thing that hurt them the most, in a sense of
they paid for it.
Because they were so locked into them trying to represent what that culture really is versus changing up to fit what the show was requiring them to do.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a specific mission called the Kpop mission or something, where you have to dance Kpop style. Or the feedback given to Motive was, y'all don't dance very Kpop. Right. And the members are perplexed. They're like, what does it mean to dance like K-pop? K-pop comes from hip hop, so what's the problem? And I think you and me, Michaela, we can obviously identify what that feedback means or what the difference is, but it was really funny to see the the Motive members just confused by that and not really being familiar with the whole universe of K-pop and how it's branched out into to be its own thing.
Even ending fairies.
And the ending fairy. Yeah. There's all of these little K-pop specific things, which is fun. And I'm also holding the tension of how did an American hip hop crew fail or be judged as failing at street dance because they couldn't do K-pop, which is a derivative of what they do. There's a part of it that feels icky. Who is K-pop to judge these legit street dancers? Who does K-pop think they are? And this is that leads me to the deeper tension of the show. Is this a K-pop show? Why was there a JYP mission?
Oh God.
What?
Right, because again, Mr. JYP again. Speaking
JYP.
of who's judging this show, from the first episode, he was one of the main judges for the first few missions of the show and the competition. And NMIX was very involved in the OST. JYP really kind of
he took up a lot of space
into this
as
whole
usual. It's dude, you, as far as I know, you don't even come from a street dance background.
Right.
Yes, you're a legendary performer, and just in some his comments, it showed that he didn't really quite grasp battle culture and what he should be judging on.
And I'm curious if you, because I have a very like tinfoil hat theory about this, Stephanie.
Oh,
in
please.
the sense of
Let's hear it.
kind of how his integration or his missions kind of came around the time that Bums Up was eliminated.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like him being a more forefront in the show was a way of the producers kind of bringing back, or at least like a more Korean audience friendly or Korean focus to the show
Yeah.
in the latter half, especially since they no longer had a Korean team to bring the Korean audience in.
I totally believe that. I totally believe it because it doesn't make sense otherwise.
Right?
It's out of place.
So out
in
of
terms
place.
of the story of the show. And when we look at the ratings, the viewership ratings, Korea Times, Park Jin-hye reports that World Street Woman Fighter ended with the finale episode had the lowest ratings ever. The finale episode had 50% lower viewership than the episode right before the finale. Like, when do you see that?
Yeah. And
People want to know who wins, right? But no, people
the
just
JYP
stopped
effect?
caring.
Was it
Yeah.
the Bums Up effect? Was it the I don't know.
Yeah, that's what this reporter is leaning towards in his observations, saying that like for a show that is focused on the Korean audience, or it is a Korean produced show, a lot of these overseas dancers do not have the celebrity star power, the recognition, the brand recognition with the Korean audience. The Koreans are there to see, Lip J, Honey J, like Gabby, all of these dancers that they know and love as household names. And then once those dancers were eliminated, it's like, I don't care who these international people are. I stopped watching.
Right.
So the numbers don't lie. There's something happening there.
And you also pair that with the international audience. Like, if you were not watching this live from broadcast on streaming on WeTV, you were waiting like a week after the air date to watch it with English or Japanese subtitles on whatever other international streaming platform you were watching it on, like
That's such a missed
Amazon
opportunity.
Prime, Apple TV. And so I'll be honest, like as the season was dragging on, it was kind of harder to keep
Dragging
going back every week because you were a week behind if you were watching it on a streamer. And WeTV, mind you can't even make a WeTV account without a Korean phone number, and you can't even watch it unless
still
you're
on that?
using a VPN.
Oh my gosh. Korea, come on. This is like when I was getting into K-pop in like 2004, 2005.
Right?
It made sense that you need like the Korean identification number to sign
Korean
up for those
ID.
services. But decades later, when you're clearly trying to cater to an international audience, like we viewers want to be included, fully included in the experience. We want to watch live.
Right.
If in like the days of watching shows come out on Viki, for example, where I used to work, the volunteer subtitlers would be like waiting at midnight or 3 a.m. and just like get to it. They would have the whole episode subtitled within a couple hours, 2-3 hours tops.
Right.
They would have it subtitled in multiple languages. So I know that fans, volunteers, and paid translators are ready and willing to do this. But it's really disappointing that Mnet or whoever is making the decisions here for international distribution slowed down the momentum that much. I'm sure international fans would have loved to be more engaged and be able to vote like at the same time as other
Right.
people, as the Koreans. So yeah, huge dropped ball there. Boo.
I mean, but like I said, with those limitations, again, it was great to see, especially compared to last season where we had Jam Republic
Yeah, holding it down.
holding it down for at least
For the West.
for the Western representation in the show,
Yeah.
or at least just non-Asian representation in the show, and skin color diversity in the show.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great to see more from that, especially seeing a team like AG Squad go so far, and also in their own way hold it down for Australian representation and culture while they were on their way.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching AG Squad a lot, and I'm not sure what the future of this show is, to be honest. Like, have they expanded too much internationally to where they're losing interest at home? That goes along with the narrative that we're seeing in the press about K-pop losing interest on the home front.
Exactly.
In Korea. By like focusing so much on the international audience, so much on like fully English lyrics throughout the song, focusing tours and performances on the US.
Peter posted that Korea Herald piece about how if you look at the circle chart, or at least the Gawon,
circle chart,
formerly the Gawon chart, and you see how these, or at least the midpoint of the 2025, like what songs are getting in these top 10 spots, it's all solo Korean male artists and idol groups and female groups specifically, who had a really big year last year, are barely scraping the top 10. And it's that focus of like, when you're so inundated with an un-K-popped or un-Korean version of K-pop, where you're not being able to connect to the lyrics of the song as well as with the lyrics that we would see with these solo balladeers who are really bringing the emotion and back to the songs. You don't get that with the K-pop style that we're seeing, which is so English focused and less in tune with emotion, really.
Yeah. And I'm sure some fans would just totally battle us over that point. Like, this song saved my life, you know?
This is just what we're seeing trend wise, or at least what the Korea Herald has reported trend wise, as like how the Korean audience is specifically responding to where K-pop is right now, with such a big focus on English lyrics and the international market. Right.
We're not saying K-pop today isn't good or not catchy or enjoyable. We're just looking at the data here. The numbers are stark and discouraging about, I mean, we knew that album sales have been dropping for years, but now we're starting to see this disparity where the Korean listenership is going down, where international listenership is increasing but also slowing down. So it's just like slowing down in general, as we see, you know, for example, HYBE is investing in the Latin American market now. HYBE just launched, you know, their Latin American arm, and they're like going to do a survival contest show for a Latin American boy band. Ooh. And so they're kind of leaning away from Korea. It's a big bet. I don't know if it's gonna work out. I know that for me, as a fan, as a longtime fan, I don't feel too great about that. I miss the like the uniquely K-pop stuff that you mentioned, Michaela, the ending fairy, the Sunbae Hubei culture within the labels, how like all the members of the different groups like know each other. So it's I think we're sitting at a crossroads and a tension point. We have been for years in K-pop, and there's trade-offs both ways. We definitely enjoy seeing non-Korean representation included. We love to see ourselves, you know, Black people, like, wow, like represented on screen and being appreciated and praised for our contributions to K-pop. That is like justice right? That feels good on a soul level.
And long, long, long overdue.
Long overdue. And there's also this double-edged sword of it. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, now you're going maybe too far, too much, leaving behind the Korean part. We're not hearing like any Korean lyrics anymore. I don't know, man. So there's another show we wanted to highlight. I don't know.
Going far on the if we have the
Yeah,
scale
we're going
of
bar.
like, Street Woman Fighter, which is still like the Korea reaching the West. We have the West reaching Korea in a way, right? On the other end.
Well, yeah. I mean, what about Boys Planet? The main point I think we wanted to discuss about the Boys Planet is like what's going on with them releasing two versions of the show. That's different.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
The thing is, when it comes to like official statements on why why things are the way they are, it's there is there is no like there's more, it's more speculative than anything that we have like officially announced as to why things happen the way they are with production. And for whatever reason, they had to change production because the Chinese group production was unable to go through. And so they just combined the two shows. And so we have two, speaking of EXO, we have two planets, the Chinese, the C planet, and the K planet, the Korean planet, and where you have, oh my gosh, just so, I forget what the actual numbers, but we've ended up now with 80 total contestants from both K planet and C planet that have now joined up and are ideally supposed to be making a Chinese market focused K-pop and a group and a Korean market focused. So we've got a group now that is supposed to be focused for the Chinese market and the Korean market at the end of this show.
I'm seeing here that it might have to do with China's ban on K-pop content.
Yeah. And that's most likely the best explanation as to why the the Chinese show didn't go through, because it's really hard for a Korean company like Mnet to do production in China when China has historically since 2017 had a ban on basically Hallyu in general in the country, or at least for TV, broadcast, music, everything.
Okay, so that was maybe a gamble on Mnet's part that the ban would be lifted in time for the show, and it was delayed.
I mean, since Produce 101, we've had China create basically their version of those shows, not necessarily specifically linked to Mnet. That's just kind of like their own version of 1,000 trainees into one group. But this was the Mnet's first attempt at doing it on their own in China, but it just didn't work out. It just feels like we've been down a lot of road because of all the scandals and things that have been coming up even before the show started. But it will be really interesting if at the end of this show that they do, if they can, get a WayV situation and create a group that is primed to be successful in the Chinese market and the Korean market. And the international market, though, we'll just kind of have to wait and see how that goes. Because with at least Zero Base 1 and from the Boys Planet 1, it wasn't just like K group and C group. It was more of like the Korean group and like global in general. So they were just kind of like more just international focused, but not necessarily, but with, two very popular Chinese members. Versus creating a group that is specifically like we are focused mostly on the Chinese market.
Yeah, critique I'm seeing here on Boys to Planet so far is split into criticism over the the flubbing of the, like, how to handle the Chinese half of the show, and then just like general critique that is applied to these big survival shows in general about like unfair editing, contestants being edited to look like they're either more talented or less talented than they are, edited to be villains when they might not be, judges being really subjective and rude or even like discriminatory with their comments. I'm like, oh yeah, this was in Boys Planet 1, this was in Island, this is in Fantasy Boys. Like, these are, rigging. All of these are issues that haunt the survival show genre,
right,
since it's been around.
And we really haven't seen any improvement. Like, I mean,
No.
Mnet had to go through a whole court case with Produce X 101, and we're still kind of in the same spot.
Right, produce. I guess I'll watch some of the performances, but yeah, I don't have high hopes for the show like generating a ton of buzz or like being something really exciting this year until they really change things up top.
Yeah, which is very unfortunate because again, we have Boy Story members, we have
Harry June,
DK Doc V
from Doc V.
Very, 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 very coming in as like
Seasoned.
The ultimate Sunbae group was kind of hurt my heart a little bit.
Yeah. Like, dang, you feel like you need to be on this show? Well, yeah, if you haven't been receiving investment from your label, you've got that fire in you, that dog in you, and go compete, I guess.
Yeah. And that is another aspect of like, in this season specifically, they are making a point to differentiate. There are contestants who are still rookies and haven't debuted, and there is more preference, or at least reference, given to contestants that have either debuted in a group, and even better if you debuted in a group in Korea.
Yeah, that's not fair. It's a popularity contest.
Yeah, because before it was kind of like implied that those contestants who come into it with much more experience than a trainee who's only been at it for 2 months were already put into like the higher ranks just because of general skill. But now there's a big differentiation of Mnet, probably for a financial reason, wanting to focus on having members in the final group that have worked in Korea.
Yeah.
And to have the experience being in a K-pop idol group.
It's so like such a big disadvantage for the Chinese members. Yeah. It's like, why even do it at all? It's brazen.
Right?
Yeah. And so we could slide on over to talk about Kpopped.
Right.
Which, might be holding a little hope, little glimmers of hope for doing it different. I don't know.
Yeah. I think
what is the premise of Kpopped?
Very, very, very simply, Kpopped is Apple TV's K-pop/Western artist collaboration survival show in which a K-pop artist and a Western artist collaborate to remake each other's songs and perform them in front of a Korean audience. And the Korean audience will vote on who K-popped the song best, or who
Oh boy.
did the best K-pop spin on an original track by the Western artist.
Okay, so it's always going in the direction of more K-pop.
More K-pop.
It's not like westernizing anything.
No.
Okay. The K-popped. I notice it's a verb. And this show has some big names attached to it. You have the list of the celebs, the artists we could roll through. It's hosted by the one and only Megan Thee Stallion and Psy. Like, First of all, like, whoa, that's huge. We know Meg like loves to spend time in Asia, loves to collaborate with K-pop and Japanese artists, and loves anime. Like, we know like Meg is one of us.
Right.
So I'm sure she's like having a blast with this assignment.
And her being an executive producer or at least having
Yeah.
people on the executive producing team that or at least give the impression of coming from or being able to represent the fan perspective in a more Western dominated show, I feel like is really exciting. I feel like it's kind of one of the reasons why we like things like K-pop Demon Hunters, and
Yeah.
it's because you have people who love the genre as much as the fans do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the list of artists and collaborators we
Drum
have
roll.
we have Megan Thee Stallion and Patti LaBelle
Yeah,
collaborating
the
with Billy.
Patti LaBelle. Whoa.
We have the Spice Girls collaborating with ITZY.
Mm-hmm.
We have Boys to Men collaborating with Black Swan.
Boys to Men. Hell yeah, Black Swan,
yeah.
represent.
TLC and Boy George collaborating with Stacy.
Okay, I could see that. TLC Stacy. Todd is gonna love it, I'm sure.
Right.
Shout out to Todd.
J Balvin and Kylie Minogue collaborating with ATEEZ.
That's gonna be wild. I can't wait.
Vanilla Ice and Taylor Dane collaborating with Kepler.
Okay. I'm gonna let him surprise me.
And then we have, was it Jess Glenn and Ava Max collaborating with Kiss of Life.
Kiss of Life made it on the show.
And then we have
Alright.
Kesha and Eve collaborating with JO1.
Eve. JO1.
Which is technically a J-pop group, but they are Mnet's J-pop group, so they are technically K-pop adjacent.
Fascinating.
Yeah, there's a little bit of sneak at the end, but they're,
Yeah,
they're
they
there.
snuck in. Like, what are y'all doing here? Okay. Very interesting. Okay, so all of these pairings and like triplets are going to be collaborating on like remaking songs and I'm assuming stage performances.
Yes, then that's the big thing is that they filmed all of this in Korea in front of a Korean audience, and the Korean audience is the live Korean audience, and the judges are the major votes into who wins each challenge.
Wow. I'm definitely excited to watch. I'm excited to see anything that legends, including like Boys to Men and Patti LaBelle, are going to do. And I'm looking forward to seeing their impressions of Korea and K-pop. Like just kind of on that tip of enjoying watching YouTube reactions of like, this is my first ever reaction to K-pop. Whoa, it's so good. Like how satisfying that is to see people.
Or like 10 times of like what Motive was experiencing, but like these established artists really like discovering what all of the little quirky things that we love about the genre.
Yeah. Like seeing any of them like become more of a fan in real time would be so fun for me as a viewer.
I mean, that's the ideal, right? You kind of hope that this, when it comes to like these kinds of collaborations, that at least the Western artists approach it with the goodwill of like trying to learn and not just kind of showing up. Right?
Yeah, I know. And what are you hopeful for?
Well, I'm hopeful for that. I'm hopeful for I'm hopeful for that, especially when it comes to like artists like Patti LaBelle getting to work with like a very young artist like Billy. It'd be really interesting to see kind of her as like a guiding or mentor role for such a young fourth gen artist.
Yes, that was gonna be where I go next. It's like as a fan, just like casually would love to see just the positive interactions between these legendary artists and K-pop. And my heart sinks a little bit at my heart sinks a little with the acknowledgement of the vast like gap in, how do I say, just like legend status in musicianship, in technique, in I don't know, like seeing a fifth generation group be paired with like someone who's on this level music talent. I hope that it is framed more as a like mentorship, guiding light opportunity, and not as a like equal pairing kind of thing. Like, oh, Billy has something to teach Patty. Let's teach her how to, like, no. I don't want to see none of that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I'd have to watch and see how the interactions are structured, and see how and if the requisite respect is offered to the artists who have chosen to take their time to be a part of this.
Yeah, because I think that's also part of the general thing that was trending, like the wrong generation in K-pop is part of the show. In the sense
fifth gen, really?
In the sense that when we think of second, first, third gen versus the groups that are represented here, which is mostly fourth and what we call now fifth gen, there's a general shift in K-pop in the sense of these fourth, fifth gen artists are primed to do K-pop in a way that is very performance focused and very focused on making something look good for a short, making something look good on a phone screen. Versus third and up, the technology is different in this generation, and they're more making sure something looks good on stage in that moment, live, vocally.
Yeah, being able to sing live. I'm looking at y'all, fourth, fifth gen folks, like not saying everyone, but the standards have changed. The standards have shifted. Please go back and watch second generation performers. You can see them now, like the members of SHINee, for example.
Look to the mentors of a
dancing
show
and
like
singing
Boys
live.
Planet. And look to
Hyolyn.
who are the Hyolyn, like Jejung, like this generation is the one mentoring the new generation for a reason.
Yeah, and I almost wonder, would it have been more appropriate? Well, probably would be harder to make the schedules align, but would it have been more appropriate to have some of the legends of K-pop who have that depth of experience, musicality, have written songs, have performed, like singing live, know how to play an instrument a lot of the time. Like, would that have been a more appropriate pairing?
I think you could also see it as like these groups are the best representation of what K-pop is now. Versus, us.
True.
We've been here. When we think of K-pop, we think of it on such a large scale. But if you think about where K-pop is now, and especially when it comes to the newer fans, like their experience of K-pop is really more like the fourth gen and fifth gen right now, which is what I think when people think of a K-pop, they think of ITZY, they think of Black, they think of ATs,
Yeah, K-pop today is so visual and dance focused, which is very different from what a lot of the Western artists focused on in their prime. And so this could go super well with them having fun with each other's strengths, and it could be awkward.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see.
About to reach out for some Apple TV logins or
Apple TV. No more. I have too many subscriptions, paying too much money.
And I even had to add a subscription in order to watch Woman Street Woman Fighter.
No,
because I watched it on Amazon Prime, and you had to be subscribed. And
you have to do an add-on.
PJM Selects in order to watch it.
We're basically
just all
going
the other
back
seasons with a regular Prime membership.
We're going backwards, basically recreating cable one package at a time. Boo!
Shake my fist. Okay.
Yep. I think overall we are just across all of these shows, across all of these business and production decisions, there is room for some hope about what it means, especially for like cross-cultural, international interaction, collaboration. We love to see that. And we have some worries about the impact on K-pop's home,
Right.
Korea. And those of us who enjoyed how K-pop used to be. So yeah, only time will tell. We'll be watching Kpopped, and stay tuned for some potential special content we might produce.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, just putting it out there. Stay tuned. But yeah, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, so guys, wrapping up our episode, let's just quickly go and let our listeners know where they can find us on socials. Stephanie?
Yep, you can find me on Instagram at Catchlight27.
And I am your PD-nim on the Kpoppcast Slack, only on the Kpoppcast Slack. But you can find all of us on the Kpoppcast Slack. And also, if you want to support the show, please consider donating to our Ko-fi. Shout out, as always, to Chelsea H for your donation. Thank you.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye, everybody.